Alright guys, what's up? Back with another YouTube video on the YouTube channel. And of course, if you've seen my most recent Instagram video, of course this is about the FNAF 2 movie. And if you also watched it, then yeah, you know my thoughts on this movie and how I feel about it. But of course, there were some things that I did like, mainly like, the beginning of the movie, especially the opening, I should say. And there were a lot of really cool Easter eggs and references that they did put in this movie, right? But of course, Easter eggs and references do not save movies, right? We all know that. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna talk about the stuff I did like. Then we'll get to the stuff that didn't make the movie so good. Anywho, okay, so first off, we're gonna talk about the opening scene. So, boom, the opening scene, it opens up with a flashback. I think it's 1982 or 83, I think. I almost thought it was gonna be 1987, but wasn't that. I guess the bite of 87 just doesn't happen in this weird universe they got going on, so they just kind of ignore that, I guess. But kind of glad they didn't do that now. Haven't watched the movie because they probably would have just screwed that up and did some really weird thing. But anyways, okay, so it opens up in Freddy's, right? And of course, the location with the toy animatronics. There's a party going on and everything, people having fun, whatever. They go and show us Charlotte, and she's sitting in front of the stage where the puppet comes out of, and these two workers come up to her and they're like, is that all you're gonna do? Because like the show doesn't start for another however long, right? And then the other worker with him is like, she just always kind of does, just leave her alone, right? Then little old Vanessa comes up to her and is like, hey, like, you gonna come and join the party or whatever, or just kind of like stuff like that, or whatever. It tells come have a little piece of cake or whatever. So she agrees and gets up. As she's getting up to go and get a piece of cake, she sees off in the distance by the kitchen area, there's this kid in front of the doors, and we see William Afton in the Spring Bonnie suit with his blue eyes glowing through the doors, kind of peeking through. He opens the door for the kid and kind of beckons for him, and then looks around and sees really no one watching, and then just yanks the kid in. And Charlotte sees that, she's like, holy shit, right? And so she tries to go over there to the to where the kid was snatched, but then Vanessa, I guess, sees her and comes and just snatches, like, don't go over there, right? And she's, like, what do you mean? Like, don't go over there. Kid just got snatched. So she goes and tells a whole bunch of different parents. And like none of the parents pay her any mind, like whatsoever. They just kind of shoo her off, or whatever. So she like, screw it, and goes and takes matters in her own hands. So she goes and follows where, the yellow rabbit went, as the kids in the first movie call him, and finds him. And of course, William, he has his mask off, and he's washing, I guess, like, maybe a knife or his hands, the hands of the animatronic suit. And of course, he's whistling, the iconic thing, dun, 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 right, doing whatever he's doing. And she's hiding, and she sees the kid's legs sticking out from behind the cabinet. But of course, she's kind of moving, and William kind of stops and tilts his head, or turns his head, and hears something, right, knowing obviously someone's there. Then she kind of, leans back and then peeks around again, and he's not there. So she goes and gets the kid, picks him up, and comes up the same way that she came in. And of course, William's standing there watching her, and he starts to follow behind her. Of course, she can hear him with, him walking in the suit with a knife. And then he gets like, right up there to her, and then it cuts to her walking out on the stage or behind the stage, peering through the slit of the curtain. And she walks through and stay on top of the marionette, like little trapdoor or whatever, and is holding the kid and looking around, and no one's paying attention. They're just going about their party going ways or whatever. And then, of course, with no one seeing what's going on, she just screams, and everyone looks, everything stops, and everyone looks at her. And, the kid starts to wake up, and he runs to his mom and whatever, and then she just falls on the trapdoor and turns over, and in her back, she has like 4 or 5 like stab wounds, of course, from William. So, of course, showing that William got him, as of course we thought, he most definitely would. And of course the trap door opens, and it opens up and it goes in downward, and Charlotte falls in. But then the puppet rises up and is carrying her, and kind of just looks around, and then boom, flashback ends, and we get the whole intro sequence. And I loved that beginning scene. It really hooked me in, really had me thinking like, damn, okay, they're going to cook up something real good, man. Like, okay, maybe they're, maybe the critics weren't really like, it's not for them, it's for us, for the fans, right? And all that. And yeah, no, that just was not the case with this movie. But it was a good opener, and I really did like it. It's what we wanted to see, in the first movie. Instead of getting that whole, oh, it's years later, and it's all decrepit and all that, all the stuff we wanted to see. It already happened, right? So we don't get to see that. And yeah, so but it was a good opening scene. It was a good opening scene. I did very much like that. There was that. Now on to like all the little like Easter egg stuff. Okay, so they do include the meme, the horror 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 in the fucking movie. It's when him and him and when Mike and Abby go to the old pizzeria, because she's looking for her friends or whatever. There's the whole little thing, what you like what do you want from the prize corner, right? And of course, she sees the fast talker or whatever, but as he picks up a Freddy plush, she squeezes it and it plays the literal meme. Of course, the whole theater erupted, or whatever. It was cool they included it in. I thought that was really cool. Another one was oh, they do the whole joke of the fat fingers from Toy Freddy. What was it? It was after she goes to visit her friends and or what she thinks are her friends at the older pizzeria, and they help her build that little chica, right? And then of course she goes back to her house, and Vanessa comes to the house looking for Mike, to talk to him, right? Um, and of course, he went off to get breakfast for Abby, whatever, and she shows him, or she shows her, and she's like, you made this? She's like, well, no, it was me and my friends, and she says that Freddy tried to help, but his fingers were too fat. Of course, that being a joke from the FNAF 6 game, Ultimate Custom Night, where Freddy's talking about typing on the keyboard, but he can't because he has these fat fingers. So I thought that was really, really cool. Another cool little Easter egg they had, a little cameo. Actually, the receptionist at the school that Mike calls is actually Baby's voice actor, and you can like I immediately got that. Like I looked to my friend, I'm like, dude, that's Baby's voice actor, because you could tell they kind of had her do like her little like soothing voice she does in the game, like that Baby has. I thought that was really, really cool to get that in there. What were some other kind of cool little or Easter egg cameos that they had in the movie? I'm trying to think. I don't know. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. I'm trying to think of some more. I think there definitely were, because they actually had quite a few, but I can't remember. Can't remember all of them. Hopefully they'll come back to me maybe later on in the video or whatever. I'll make a follow up. But yeah, those are really cool. I really enjoyed those, the little Easter eggs. Damn, I feel like there was another one that they did. I'm really trying to think of. I don't know. Kind of wish I. That's why I kind of wish I would have made the movie or made the video like a day ago. But I had some stuff going on. But they'll probably come back to me later on in the video. But with those couple things that I did like, which of course not being very many. Now let's get into the stuff that just, yeah. Okay, so starting off with Charlotte and the puppet, or should I say just Charlotte, because the puppet is completely non-existent in this movie. We see her in the beginning, but that doesn't count because that's a flashback. We see her when the Ghost Adventure crew go to the pizzeria. She jump scares, what's her name's character. Yeah, then that's it. And then we literally do not see the puppet until Toy Chica is delivering Abby back to her room and drops her in her bed, and then she starts spazzing out, and the puppet comes bursting out of her chest. And that's it. Like, literally, we do not see the puppet. All this promotional stuff for the puppet, like, the puppet being the big thing for FNAF 2, game and movie, and we don't see the puppet. All that money spent on that beautiful animatronic, we don't see them. Why? They give us this whole thing of, like, Charlotte possesses people, and they're, like, I don't know, like, the puppet themselves. It's just stupid. Like, we want to see the puppet animatronic. We don't want to see fucking people floating, chasing people around the fucking house or the pizzeria. Like, we don't want to see that. We want to see the puppet animatronic. Like, so that was really stupid, and I just did not get that. Another thing would be Mike's character, Michael Afton. Like, I don't know what the hell they were doing with that. They just literally kind of pulled that out of their ass. For one, they made him evil. They made him follow the agenda of William Afton. Why? When in the games, he's literally trying to help his sister, and like he's a good character, and it's just like, what the hell, right? I literally have no idea why they did that. And he has like no substance in the movie, bro. He's in the scene where they go to the pizzeria, the little ghost crew. Then he kind of turns around when he leaves, like welcome back, Charlotte, and then walks off. And then we see him at the end after Charlotte gets defeated, whatever, with the little music box. And then even then, I still, after seeing it twice, I still don't get how he really fits in whatever the fuck was going on in that movie. I have no idea whatsoever. You know, for the fans, I guess. So there was that. Another very confusing thing was, yo, where the fuck were the animatronics? Like the original ones, the ones from the first movie. Where were they? Because the whole beginning part is Abby wanted to go see her friends, right, at the old pizzeria, and Mike's telling her, oh, I gotta rebuild them. I'm gonna rebuild them for you and all that. And of course, it gets revealed by Vanessa that that's not the case. That because she tells him, like, when are you gonna like tell Abby the truth about her friends, about this whole like you're gonna fix them thing. And of course, Abby's like, fuck that. I'm gonna go see my friends. Go see the old pizzeria, and they're not on the stage. And I'm thinking like, okay, maybe like, the company like demolished them or something like that. Or I'm thinking they're gonna like change it and have the Wizards be those animatronics or something. No. They just gone. Like they're just I don't know. They went on fucking vacation to Honolulu or some shit. Like where are the animatronics? Like they're just not there. And then she even asked Mike, she's like, where are my friends? And then he's thinking that she's talking about the animatronics and he just kind of like he doesn't even know. Like, where the fuck did they go? What? And of course, she's talking about the souls of the kids, but like literally, where did they go? I'm trying to think to the first movie. I mean, like, where did they go? They literally were not there, and then they don't come back until the end where Vanessa's on the phone with him. He's like, okay, I got an idea of like some extra help. Go see the old pizzeria, looking around. Like, if you guys really love Abby, come help us. And of course, that's when they come in all Avengers Endgame style. I'm gonna get to that. That shit was oof. Anyway, so yeah, like where the hell did they go? Like, and there's literally no explanation. Like Abby doesn't ask them. It doesn't even cross her mind. Like, hey, where did you guys go? You guys went at the pizzeria. Oh shit, Abby, we were out down the street getting some fucking tacos from Taco Bell. Like, where the fuck were they? Like, whatever. Sure, they were in the back room playing arcade games, I guess. We're gonna go with that. Another point. The whole thing with Mike in the fucking security office with the mask. How did he know about my homeboy pointed this out. He was like, no one told him about the mask. And I thought about it, I was like, damn, you're right. No one told him about how the mask works. When him and Vanessa go to the pizzeria and they're trying to find Abby and all that, or they're trying to figure out what the hell's going on, they go to the security office. She tells them all about, that the whole like, oh, they can't leave the pizzeria. They have to they have to disable this gimmick that allows them to not leave the pizzeria. And then she tells them about the whole wireless controlling thing about the puppet. Nowhere in all the explanation does he tell him, oh, you see that mask over there in the corner in the chair? You put that on when they come in your office and then they leave. No, he just kind of like is just chilling. And then he hears like, I think Balloon Boy laugh. And then he kind of turns and he looks, he's like, there's no way that'll work. How did you even think about that? How did that even come to your mind that, oh, that mask, I put that on and they're going to facial recognition my face and like, oh shit, hey guys, he's chill. Like they don't establish that. They're just kind of like, oh yeah, Mike just kind of found that out. Really, like that shit makes no sense. But I did just think about something that I did like. They did a little Easter egg for Shadow Bonnet, really quick, and you'll like blink and you'll miss it, like dead ass. Like it's right before he finds out about the fucking mask. He shines the flashlight kind of in the corner of the office where Shadow Bonnet usually appears, and you see him for a quick ass second. It was really fucking cool. But yeah, like, how the fuck did he find out about the mask? And speaking of this office part too, this shit really killed me. Okay, so the whole game mechanic, right? That they put in the movie, put the mask on. They even show it too, like the animatronics scan the face, they see the mask, or they turn away. Okay, there is one part where there is two animatronics in there with them. They walk. It's Wither Chica and I think it's Freddy, and they're standing there, and he sees them. And also, too, my homeboy pointed this out. How the fuck did he not hear them walk up? Because in the scenes where they're walking, because there's some scenes where like it's them outside the office in the hallway and they're walking, these big ass animatronics, they're stomping around and shit. But he doesn't hear not one, two big ass animatronics walk into the office, and he looks up, he's like, oh, like what the fuck? Like, dude, these things are fucking huge. And you don't hear them walk into the office? Like, get the fuck out of here with that, bro. But besides that, more what I was going to elaborate on. He sees them and then doesn't put on the mask. He goes back to doing what he was doing on the computer for however long he's doing it. And you're gonna sit here and tell me these animatronics sat here and watched him do whatever he was gonna do and didn't kill him? Like, I mean, in the game, bro, you get about like, if an animatronic's in your office, you get about literally max 2-3 seconds before it's game over. Dog, they sat there and watched him for probably a good like 10 seconds. And you tell me they were just sitting there just like, yo, what's Mike doing on the computer? Shit, I don't know. Let's just sit here and watch him. Oh, okay, he's done. Like, what? And then he puts on the mask and they go away? Or I can't remember if he does put on the mask. But it's irrelevant at this point because what the fuck? Like, they just sit there and watch him? Like, what was that all about? And then they do the same thing with fucking Withered Foxy. Of course, Withered Foxy, the mask doesn't work. He puts it on. He's like, no shit, it's not working. And then they show the perspective from Withered Foxy. It's him scanning the fucking mask. And of course, it instead of highlighting green like it does with the Withered animatronics, it highlights red, of course, because it doesn't work on him. He raises up his hook. Mike takes it off. Continues doing shit on the computer. Why the fuck does Foxy just sit there and watch him? Again, why are they giving him all this fucking time to like sit there and get what he needs to get done? So you tell me Foxy is just gonna like sit there and just like watch him? The mask doesn't even work on Foxy. Like as soon as it highlighted red, he really what he should have did was fucking murked him right there. And then nope, there's Mike. But Foxy's just gonna sit there and watch him. What is with that? Like what is? And then Balloon Boy comes in the office and is sitting there staring at him. Mike gets up and takes Balloon Boy's head and fucking like rips it off and throws it in the hallway. Like, what? That felt so awkward. Like I did not. That just felt so fucking weird. And then Withered Bonnie is in the vent. He pushes the vent down, and you got Withered Cheek and I think Withered Freddy in the hallway, and then he like pushes the vent close. Like, what the hell? Like, why'd they have him do that? Your guess is as good as mine, right? It just doesn't make any fucking sense. So that whole office thing was just terrible, and then we get no time in the office. Again, that is one of my biggest gripe with these two movies so far. There is no Five Nights at Freddy's. The game is called Five Nights. The movie also is called Five Nights at Freddy's. There are no Five Nights. Where are the Five Nights at Freddy's? No, what it really should have been called was 1.5 seconds at Freddy's 2. Because there is no Five Nights. And then even then when he's playing the game, or whatever, there is no, he doesn't play the game. He's just doing bullshit. You got fucking him fucking decapitating Balloon Boy. You got him, and then too, I just thought about this. When he pushes the vent against Withered Bonnie, why doesn't Withered Bonnie fight back? As strong as he is, he could have just fucking pushed the damn thing, the damn vent thing down and just walked in like, oh, you're dead now. But no, Withered Bonnie just kind of takes it like a good boy and lets the vent just get pushed back on him. What? Why? Like, I don't know, bro. I don't know. But hey, he disables the animatronics. Everyone gets disabled. Yeah. So there's that. I guess whatever. And then again, this whole This whole thing with the animatronics walking around the neighborhood and the town, that shit is, I hate that so much. Like, why is Toy Freddy in this old couple's home? Why is he there? Why does he have a sandwich on his nose from an old couple's house? Why? Why are they like? It almost felt like Joy of Creation, which is not. I'm not ripping on Joy of Creation. I love Joy of Creation, and I love its storyline. I love that game. But this isn't Joy of Creation. This is Five Nights at Freddy's. These dudes shouldn't be walking around the town. Like, what? Why are we doing that? Can we stay at the pizzeria, please? Like, is that too much to ask for? But you know, wait. This is for us, right? This is for the fans, right? The fans, right? This is for the ones who've been here since day one. We love y'all. We're gonna give us something we love, right? Thank you, Blumhouse. And then I'm thinking about too. I did a little research because I told my friend, I was like, you know what, dude? I don't think that Scott would do this. I don't think Scott would build all this lore and then just go to a movie and be like, hey, this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna screw with my lore and make some bullshit. But I did some research, I did some reading. It seems like Scott really did sit down and do all this bullshit. And Blumhouse let him. But I'm not surprised because Blumhouse, I mean, I told my homeboy, when was the last time you saw a horror movie that Blumhouse did and you were like, damn, that was a good ass horror movie? Really, Scott? Scott, I still love you though. Because, you know, you probably did sit down and throw this bullshit down, but I still do think that Blumhouse kind of did almost. I don't know, because I also told my homeboy this. I told him, like, you know, how many times have we seen where, you know, the creator behind this big thing goes to a movie studio, they give us the movie. Then, like, a year later or months later, they're like, they get down to interview, they're like, oh, yeah, that never happened. I never said to do that. And now the whole perspective shifts from they did that to no, you did that. I don't know. I just know that I watched the ass movie. That's all I can really tell you. But hey, man, it was for the fans, right? This is for us. Got fucking Toy Freddy fucking walking around fucking Fast Fest. I'm gonna get to Fast Fest in a minute because that shit was stupid too. Like, what the fuck? Like, why is Toy Chica at a science fair? Or it was robotics. My bad. A robotics fair. What the fuck? Why? What? And no one is like... and no one finds that the bit of ounce of like weird. Like I just why? Like okay. Anyways, so Fast Fest, right? Henry kind of hits on this about the whole thing because when Mike goes to find like when he finds the paper about Freddy's murder, and he says, you know, kids were calling about ordering pizzas and shit like that and joking around. You know, kids today would do that. Big ass tragic event happens. You know, kids want to joke about it and shit. And he even talks about it too. That like, you know, this fast thing is just disgusting because it is. Why is the town having a huge event about a pizza joint that was involved in murders of 5 kids, and then an older one that was involved with a murder of a little girl, and almost the murder of another boy of a little boy that she saved? Why are we celebrating that? I remember, I think it was a comment on some video or something, and it was like, this is the equivalent if like if they had a John Wayne Gacy event. Like he kidnapped, they weren't kids, but they were young boys he kidnapped, right, and killed them. This is almost kind of like that. Like, why are we celebrating this? Like, are the town officials just brain dead? Like, hello, what the fuck? So there's that, the Faz event, you know. Like, sure, you know, let's celebrate, you know, the tragic death of 5 kids, right? Let's go ahead and dress as Freddy and, like, you know, let's get all jolly, guys. Oh, another thing, too, that I just thought about that was stupid. Big dude's name from the first movie, I forget his name. When Vanessa's car breaks down, and then, like, my homeboy also pointed this out, too. Like, literally, when we saw it the first one, he was like, how convenient. How convenient that his big black ass pulled up right when Vanessa's car broke down. Vanessa, you need a ride? What? Like, that was so convenient. Could not make it more convenient looking. Like, that shit was just so stupid. It was so stupid. I cannot get over how stupid this movie was. I really cannot. I guess we should talk about the biggest thing that makes this movie stupid. So they're at the house, Mike, Vanessa, and Abby. Well, first it was Mike and Vanessa. Um, and like, I know, listen, I know Henry told him about, you know, the music box and putting her to, like, giving it to her because, like, it put her to sleep, you know, as a child. But, like, when Abby's attacking Vanessa, possessed by Charlotte, and he pulls up with, like, the music box, and he's like it's a fucking blick, and puts her to sleep. Like, I mean, that was also kind of convenient in my opinion too. Like, he just kind of pulled up, and I'm like, boom, that was that. And then here comes Michael Afton with, you know, carrying on my father's legacy, vengeance. Dude, screw you. But to the part I want to talk about. So everyone's there, and, like, Vanessa denies Michael's whole spiel about, hey, like, come join me, let's avenge our father. And then she's like, no. He's like, you know, it's okay, you know, whatever. I don't care. He tells the animatronics, you know, break their bones or whatever, kill them. Then we hear Foxy, dum dum doo dum 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 doo dum 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 doo dum dum dum. Foxy fucking yanks Toy Bonnie with his hook by his throat through the fucking window, and smashes his head in. Here comes Freddy, fucking ripping Toy Freddy in half, throws him to the side. What's with this Avengers Endgame ass pull up? Like, what the hell? Why are we having the animatronics saving people? Like, I don't get me wrong. I get that they're Abby's friends and they would save her, right? They answered Mike's call, whatever. But, like, why are we doing this? What the fuck? Why? Why are we doing this? Why are we having these dudes pull up, like when the young superhero goes to the old-timer superhero, like, I need you to be the hero you once were. You were a great hero. And then he kind of just doesn't listen to them. Last one he pulls up, he's like, you know, thanks, kid, for reminding me or whatever. It kind of was like that. Like, what the hell? That superhero-ass pull-up. That shit was just dumb. Like, what the fuck? Yeah. Nah. That shit was just dumb, man. That little pull up. And then another thing too. The black dude, when he took Vanessa to the house, he was chilling he had to be chilling in the vehicle that whole time. So you're telling me he didn't see these animatronics pull up to the house? And you telling me he just stayed in the car while they just pulled up and then go out and be like, damn, like, what's going on? What the fuck? And why was he just chilling in the car in the first place? Why didn't he just get out with Vanessa? What the hell? Like, just stupid stuff like that. Like, that made this movie so bad. Like, I don't get what is so hard to adapt something the way it is and just put it in a movie. Why do we always have to make something so different? Don't get me wrong, sometimes different can be cool and it can still fit into what we want, but for the fans, my ass. Because this was for nobody. You know, like I told my homeboy, it be these movies with these big ass red carpet premieres, all these different influencers and creators surrounded around FNAF coming to the events, just for it to be a shit ass movie. Like, what? And then don't even get me started on fucking the toy animatronics and their voice actors. Bro, they had zero fucking lines. Almost. Toy Chica pretty much had the whole fucking movie to talk, to yap her ass off, right? Toy Freddy says about a couple things. He says, oh, I'd love to go to the concerts. I gotta rip some heads off some people. And he goes and he goes to the old couple's house, and I don't know what he says now. I forget. Megan Fox has all the lines in the world. And don't get me wrong, I liked her as Toy Chica. I think she did good. But it was just like, it was just stupid. And then, oh my God, Matt Pat. You couldn't even tell it was Matt Pat. You had to really listen. He really I don't know if they had him alter his voice like that. I'm not really sure. And the lines he did have were just stupid. Like, there were points where, that when Toy Freddy and Toy Bonnie pulled up, they really had me thinking that, because when they were in the office with Abby, right before she put in the code to disable the thing, Toy Freddy and Toy Bonnie standing in the hallway looking dumb as hell. You guys are going to talk? You guys aren't say anything? Toy Bonnie gets 3 lines max. I'm going to convince your mom to let us stay up tonight. Your parents don't care about you. What the fuck? What a waste of Matt Pat. Tell me Matt Pat sat down and was like, gosh, guys, thanks for my lines. This is awesome. This is an awesome movie you guys put together. Pretty sure they paid well, though. Shit, he got that bag, though. I bet you that. What a fucking waste of Matt Pat, man. Hey, Corey was in the movie, though. That was cool. I like seeing that. I like seeing Corey. But, yeah. Overall, this was a bad movie, guys. It's a very bad movie. If you saw it and you liked it, hey, sure, go ahead. Why not like it? Movies are subjective after all. You like what you like. And yeah, I don't know what else really want to say on this. I don't know what else to really say on this movie, this review. So, yeah. Oh, there was the scene about the post-credit scene with Springtrap. That was cool. Nice little setup. I like that a lot. Fazbear's Fright. But then again, I'm just thinking about this whole movie. I'm just not excited. I'm not excited for the future anymore. For this weird ass universe they got going on. Because, however many years later, we're gonna see Springtrap in a trailer, go all like, oh, Springtrap! Just for them to do some stupid stuff with them. So, yeah. This was the FNAF 2. Not even a review, just talking about the shit ass moments I didn't like, and I'm pretty sure there were more, but those were the biggest things. But yeah, it's another YouTube video for me. If you like the movie, let me know what you liked about it. Let me know, what made sense to you, and why it was a good movie. Let me know in the comments, or whatever. And yeah, that was my talking about the FNAF 2 movie, if you even want to call it a movie. Peace out, guys.